Whoa, look how bright I am. Hello, everyone. This is the first time I've ever caught the show. All right, first time I've ever caught the show. So Dashaina has me sitting in a new spot because she said the lighting is better here. I feel like I'm so bright. Even my Band-Aid is so bright. I should take that off. It's probably fine by now. Anyway, I'm just checking. Hello, everyone can hear me, right? Maybe I just... Oh, I somehow stayed up to 4 a.m. to see this? I don't know where that guy is, but whoa, man. That's some serious staying up power. I do often wake up at... Oh, Tomaters can hear me. Excellent. All right, then I'm just going to start. So today, I decided, since it was the 10th one of these, which is kind of crazy. The first one of these lives I did, I guess, was 10 Sundays ago. And, oh, I better turn these off because they're going to distract me like crazy. Anyway, Dashaina was just like, hey, people keep asking these questions. You want to go do some live for like, I don't know, an hour and just answer a bunch of questions for people? And I was like, well, all right. And it went pretty well. Now, the next week, I was like, well, okay, let's do another one. And now that I've done 10 in a row, I think it's a thing. So now this is the 10th one. And I'm going to try to talk about something extra special that's actually kind of hard to talk about because I don't have a lot of this kind of conversation, partly because my opinions are different than pretty much all the people around me. Although it is a question that is pretty much always present. And the question is, what is the point? Like, what is the point of being alive? What is the point of being a human? What's the point of being a dog or a rabbit or a rock or a spaceship or the sky? What's the point of anything? Well, whenever I think about just what the point of things is, if I try to figure out some big universal meaning to it all, I always come up with nothing. And the only place I can find like meaning for things is when I look at things from their own perspective, because I think existence gives meaning to itself. So the point of being a rock, as far as I can tell, is just to be a rock. The point of being a potato is to be a potato. The point of being a human being is to be a human being. Now, there's more to it than that, of course. So, like, what is the point of life? What is the point of being alive? Well, from this little pattern we've got, the point of being alive is to be alive. That means live and do the things that make you feel alive and be supportive of life around you, because you can't be alive if you're surrounded by dead things, because you can't breathe outer space, of course. You also can't eat outer space. So the point of being alive is to support your own life and the life around you and just be supportive of life in general. Now, when you look at things from this perspective, money doesn't matter and greed isn't really a thing. And when you look at things from this perspective, the richest billionaire in the world has no more value than the poorest person in the world if you're just talking about finances. And often, the richest person is actually has less value than the poorest person, because maybe the poorest person goes out and catches a couple fish here and there and farms a little bit of land and feeds his family and, supports that life and brings life to his little fields, and then they all poop in the ground and it feeds the plants and the bugs and everything, which ends up feeding the fish and which they end up eating again. And they're just part of this whole cycle of life, making more life around them. They're part of the cycle of life, right? Whereas a billionaire might spend all their time making phones that are purposely made to be addictive and make people just turn into this. And then the people basically become rocks. Or it's like they're dead and the only reason you can tell they're alive is because their thumb is moving. That's not supportive of life at all. So if you look at things from that perspective, which is the way I always look at things, the amount of money you have just makes no difference. How supportive of life you are makes a much huger difference. And this is part of the reason I wanted to talk about this stuff, was because it kind of answers a lot of the questions of why I do things and why I do things certain ways. Now, besides that, besides just the point of being alive, That doesn't cover every specific type of life. Like if you're a dog, you don't just want to be alive. You want to chase your tail and run after rabbits and bark at things and eat poo. And if you're a rock, you want to go like this all the time. And every living thing has its own little thing. So what is the thing that's unique to humans? What's that unique human thing that makes us feel alive? Well, as far as I can tell, we have the only imagination that can see things that don't currently exist, or that we've never seen before. Like a human being, I and the people here can think about a peanut. Okay, that's easy. A lot of animals can do that because they've seen a peanut before. Everyone's seen a peanut. Not everyone, but I'm sorry to all the blind people, but many people have seen a peanut. You can think of a peanut. And now think of the peanut being purple, even though you've never seen a purple peanut. Now you can make the peanut be as big as a house. You could slap a bunch of wheels on it and then put a funny face on the front and make it smile and laugh. And you can make it poop peanut butter and put a tail on it. And you can make this crazy. Wow, that would be awesome. If it could poop peanut butter. Oh man, I would so want one of those. Anyway, you can imagine all this stuff. And I've seriously never seen a peanut the size of a house that's purple with wheels on it and laughing and smiling, But we have the ability to imagine that, which gives us the ability to come up with ideas of things that we've never seen before, which means we can come up with ideas of things to do or things to make. And we also have this ambition built into us that says we want to do, experience new things and make new things and, do all this kind of new stuff. So in addition to just, the basic point of being alive, which is to support life, specifically as humans, we need to somehow feed this desire to create or use our imaginations and somehow progress. Now that kind of has two sides, because it can be seen as a disease or a huge benefit, as a detriment or this really great thing. Because going back to the telephones. If you have a telephone, it can be used to turn people into this, which is just sucking the life out of them. And when you have the life sucked out of you, you end up just consuming all the life around you and just becoming this black hole of negativity and destruction and horribleness, right? But a telephone can also make it so you can communicate with any other person on the planet, which is an amazing thing. Of course, it depends on the content of that message. But the point is this imagination we have and this ability and this desire to create and do all these new things and somehow progress, it can be used to benefit or take away from our lives. Like it can have positive or negative value. And so this is the way I at least look at the world and the way I value things. And hopefully that kind of explains some of how I decide what to do and why I do certain things. And let me give you a few examples while we're going through here. So say I have two shovels, and one is a regular shovel with a wood handle and a normal steel scooper thing, and the other one is full stainless steel shovel. Now it takes twice as much energy to make the stainless steel shovel than it does to make the other one. So just based on that, the stainless steel shovel is half as valuable as the other one because it takes twice as much energy to make it. However, if the stainless steel shovel lasts more than twice as long as the other one, then it's more valuable. So say the stainless steel one. You turn off your thing. I don't know if you all heard that, but Dashaina is listening to me right now and can't turn up. Just turn the volume.
I am turning the volume up.
Anyway, so if it takes twice as much energy to build a stainless steel shovel as it does to build one that's just the regular shovel. But the regular shovel, the handle's going to break and it's going to rust through. And say the stainless steel one lasts 100 times longer. Well, it's not 100 times more valuable because it took twice as much energy to make it. So you have to, since it's double, you have to cut in half the value. So the stainless steel shovel ends up being 50 times the value of the other shovel. And this is kind of how I value things when I look at them. So if I'm looking at two different shovels, that I could either make or buy or whatever, if it's going to take me twice as much stuff to build the thing that's going to last 100 times longer, I'll always go for that if it's feasible. Another example would be, in terms of promoting life, having kids, because that's a big part of promoting life. Like we have to, we got to keep these kids going. We got to take care of the planet for the next generation and everything. When I was deciding if I wanted to have kids, I kind of asked myself, well, probably but three things off the top of my head, which was, one, do I want to have kids? And that's just a feeling thing. Like, do I want to do it? And the second is, am I going to be a good dad? And that's like, am I going to have time to be a father? Am I going to have enough patience and all that stuff? And to those two questions, I had, yes, I do want to be a dad. And yeah, I think I can be a pretty good dad. I have a decent temperament. Fairly patient. I enjoy spending time with kids. I think I can be a good dad. And then the third one is, is my genetic material going to likely produce like pretty good people? And I've always been pretty happy with my genetics, I guess. So yeah, I got 3 yeses to that. So I was like, all right, I should make a pile of kids. Now, say I had a yes to 2 of those, but the third one, there was a genetic problem that maybe I wasn't able to have kids naturally. Now, I'm not saying anything against anyone else who does this, but just the way I value things, the way I set up my value system, I would never use medical intervention to have kids, because then I would be concerned that I would be having kids who would then not be able to have kids, and that would be less than ideal. So in that case, I'd probably want to like adopt or maybe spend a lot of time with my brother's kids or whatever, hypothetically. Anyway, so maybe this gives kind of an idea of how I set up this value system in my head to make the choices that I make in life. And it would actually be kind of interesting to hear if anyone else has a similar kind of thing like that, or it doesn't have to be even similar. Just do you have your own value system, or did you go with like what we were taught in school? Because what we were taught in school was money, greed. And when you only think about money, greed actually kind of makes sense, because you can get more money that way. It's just, unfortunately, greed generally means you're taking value from someone else, destroying a significant part of that value, but just getting it for yourself. So overall, greed ends up being a negative, less value, no value, actually, negative value. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about that. Hey, what else am I supposed to talk about right now?
Oh.
How long did I just talked for like almost 15 minutes.
Jesus.
Okay, now I'm supposed to say some things like, oh yeah, everyone, welcome. And if you have any questions that you wouldn't want to answer yourself, think twice before asking them. So don't be rude. Be super cool. Don't be dicks. Everyone's been awesome so far, and thank you so much, and that's amazing. I'm sure not everyone. There's probably some schmuck somewhere, but whatever. Overall, people have been pretty awesome, and that's great. What else am I supposed to say? Oh yeah, if anyone has any email things they want to send,
I put in the description today.
Dashaina remembered to put my email address in the description down here, which is great, because last week she forgot to do it, and the week before that, maybe the week before that too. Anyway, what else do I want to talk about? Well, while I'm talking about this Dashaina thing, I feel like I should talk a little bit about changes to my channel recently, because there's been a few not significant changes, but there've been some changes recently, and I don't feel like I need to explain myself or anything, but for anyone who wants to know, here it is. Oh, and someone did comment recently that my channel's become all about making money, and it's just lost everything. And man, if I'm trying to make money, I am making the wrong kind of videos, so that doesn't even make sense. Anyway, so what have been the major changes in my channel recently?
Well, I am participating more.
Okay, one thing is Dashaina has taken over uploading my videos. And I kind of, at first I was just like, can you just upload these? Because I don't have time. And then she did it, and now she's doing it all the time, which has been a super huge help. And she's also uploading them kind of on a schedule, which is great because I never had the time or to do that because I was always busy. I couldn't, blah. But the content of the videos themselves is the same as it's always been. Although, what?
I've been including thumbnails.
Oh, Dashaina's been including thumbnails on my videos that she makes sometimes. But the videos themselves are the same as I've always done. You may have noticed there are fewer videos, but they're longer because I used to always cut them at 10 minutes. So if I had a half-hour video, I'd make 3 10-minute videos. But lately, if I have a half-hour video, I've just been putting it all up at once because it seems like people watch half-hour videos these days. And YouTube doesn't have that. It used to have like a cutoff at some time that I used to always be below. So there are probably fewer videos, but they're longer. But in general, it's the same video content stuff as it's always been. Advertisements. The advertisements thing has changed. So like historically, I always put the minimum amount of advertisements that I could on my videos. And then the amount of money I was making from them was so small that, I don't know, several months ago, I just turned it off because I was like, this isn't even worth having on there. So I just got rid of the advertisements. But then I got all these advertisements on my videos. And I was like, what the?
Trying to shake so much.
Yeah, I'm shaking the floor, sorry. So I got Dashaina to check the YouTube contract because I was too lazy to do it myself, thank you. And she read it, and it's like, if you don't monetize your own videos, YouTube will do it for you, and then they just keep all the money, and then you just don't get any, and they put out whatever they want on there. So I was like, oh, fine. Let me put the advertisement back on. And at first I was like, well, just put them on the minimum thing that it has to be, and that's fine. But then several people said, basically, some of us don't have money to donate to you directly, but we want to be supportive of your channel. So can you just put up the advertisements, the skippable advertisements, and we're happy to watch them. And then people who don't want to watch them can skip them. And I thought that was a reasonable compromise. So now I have skippable ads on the videos, right? So hopefully that is the best choice that I could make to make the most people happy and do the best thing. And I get a few dollars here and there from it. Sorry, I got to talk with my hands, but when I'm moving around, I'm shaking the floor. Apparently, the camera's in an unstable spot. What else has changed on my channel? Nothing.
We put up advertisements about the new merchandise that goes out.
Oh yeah, because Dashaina's been helping me with all this stuff, and I'm just too busy to do it. She's been taking care of some things that I have been asked to do a lot. I've been like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. But she's set up the ability to buy mugs with adventure builder symbols on them because someone requested that. I don't know how she did it or what she did, which is one of the really nice things about her helping me with this because I didn't have to worry about it. And then there are also some shirts and some hoodies and stuff and
baby stuff.
There's baby stuff?
Yeah, and maternity shirts too.
And maternity shirts. Apparently there's baby stuff too. Probably because Dashaina did it. But I would have put up baby stuff, of course, because I think about I probably wouldn't have.
No, they were all men's shirts.
I had only men's shirts.
Men shirts.
Men's shirts? No, I had women's shirts too. Anyway, she's taking care of that. And when I first set up shirts that people could buy, I spent 3 hours going through finding a place that would do it and setting it up, and then I just ignored it for the next 5 years. But Dashaina actually pays attention to it once in a while now, and if you make a request like, hey, can you make an adventure builder mug, she'll take care of that, which is great. That's super helpful. So I hope everyone who got mugs or shirts or whatever is very happy with them, and that stuff's available. I know Tomaters was really happy about his mug.
And the shirts, actually.
And he got a shirt too?
Yeah.
Shirts? Oh, good. Yeah, I want to get one of those mugs. The ones with the steel rim, those look really nice.
Do you want me to sit down or just stand here the whole time?
Why don't you come sit down here? Come sit beside me. I thought you were not sitting by me because you thought I smelled bad or something.
No, it's wrong.
Wait, there's one other thing that's changed in my channel. Oh yeah, doing these lives. Wait, the lighting got screwed up. Look, here I'm so
Yeah, you have
bright.
to scoot over slightly.
Oh, now I'm in the dark spot.
Scoot over a little bit.
Which way? Oh, you mean toward you?
Well, I just needed to be able to like, scoot over, and your leg was taking up.
Just
the
tell
whole
me
middle
which
part.
direction. Okay, so yeah, the only other thing is now I'm doing these lives.
Oh, the other issue is that I interrupt you to say thank you to people who are supporting during the
Oh,
lives. and
okay,
that's
hold
the
on. So let's
problem.
get to that in a second. So so I'm doing these lives every Sunday. And I consider these just to be in addition to any of the normal video stuff I make. So anyone who doesn't like the lives, I totally understand. I might not want to sit here and watch me for 2 hours. Yeah, just watch the normal videos. This takes nothing away from that. They're not. One is not dependent. One is not taking away from the other. But yeah, someone complained that you're interrupting me too much.
Yeah, I interrupt to say thank you to people who are donating during the lives.
Oh,
specifically.
Oh God, whatever. God, like of all the little nitpicky garbage. I mean, like there are so many more important things to worry about in the world than someone saying thank you. Like to.
Speaking of saying thank you.
Hey, don't interrupt me. Don't you interrupt me. Is that better?
Is
that better?
I'd like to say thank you to Eric and Tomatoes who have already
Oh
put in
yeah,
special
they hooked me up.
Yeah.
Now maybe I can get a mug.
Yeah, like it's great.
Thanks to Eric and Tomatoes.
Yeah, so thanks.
Anyway,
so we do have some questions.
You know what?
Should we get to it?
Yeah, let's get to some questions. Wait, I just gotta roll my eyes one more time at this whole. Dashaina said something. Like I gotta deal with her enough already. Now I gotta deal with her and people complaining that. Like seriously, this is enough. All right.
Put it in the description at the very bottom. I said if you wanted to know more about this weird chick who interrupts Jaimie all the time during the lives.
Oh, you've got your own channel. You can plug yourself now.
It at the bottom.
Okay. Anyway.
I mean, if I'm gonna get complained about, might as well make it worth it, right?
Well, yeah. Why? What is this stain on my shirt?
You need to tie dye.
What the heck? Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm always working on stuff.
It's got
dirt here. I've almost got it dirty enough that it looks like it's supposed to be.
Okay, so let's get to it. What do you think?
Yeah, give me some questions.
Okay, so we've got a pile of questions. The first one from previously.
Oh, wait. I got a question from previously that I forgot to answer. The anti-fouling. Mm-hmm. So why don't I put anti-fouling on the bottom of my boats? For anyone who doesn't know, anti-fouling is basically stuff you paint on the bottom of the boat to prevent barnacles and whatever from growing on the bottom of your boat. And you want to prevent that because it really slows down your boat when you have a bunch of crap stuck on there. And I don't put it on because a lot of it. Now you're distracting me by touching all these things. Anyway, I don't put the anti-fouling stuff on the bottom of my boat because a lot of it is like toxic to animals in the water. And I definitely don't want to use any of that. And then there's the stuff that flakes off, but I feel like that's just polluting the water too. Alan Long loves you too.
I know.
So I don't know. Maybe there's a good solution of something I can put on the bottom of my boat that will prevent stuff from growing on it. That guy's gonna get a coffee mug, he said.
Yes.
I seriously want one of those coffee mugs with this stainless steel rim. Those look so nice.
They looked really nice.
Anyway, I don't know of a good anti-fouling thing for the bottom of the boat that's supportive of life. Like just what I was talking about. This is how my value system works. Like I could basically paint poison on the bottom of my boat and kind of kill some stuff and just be like, don't worry about it. And then I'm also kind of like being less alive because I'm doing less. Or I can say, no, I'm not going to paint that poison on there, and I'm just going to jump in the water and scrub it off and feel alive like I'm doing stuff. And I feel like, based on my value system, that's what I want to do. It makes me feel alive. I'm being more supportive of life. And yeah, I'd rather just scrub off the boat every now and then. And if I do it like every day, every few days, I just take a brush and it takes 5 minutes and just kind of wipe it off. It's not until you leave it for a couple weeks that you start actually getting barnacles on it. You got to chip it off. If you do it regularly, it's pretty easy to keep it clean.
So speaking of stuff like that, what do you think of gasifiers?
Gasifiers? Well, someone asked a question about a gasifier, And what he was referring to was a wood gas
Yeah.
thing, wood gas gasifier.
Which I mistakenly thought he was talking about the methane producing.
Well, I mean, when someone, you had to look, you had to show me what you were talking about, because I was like, gasifier, that could be my butt. I don't know. My butt has been an excellent gasifier lately because I've been eating so much chili. I'm not gonna eat chili for like a week. I gotta lay off the chili because seriously, I've been like floating for like a week.
Stop
Anyway.
smashing hands on your lap.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I don't really have any internal combustion engines. Okay, so a wood gas machine basically is a thing where you burn some wood in a really crappy way, so it makes
peanut butter.
So it makes a lot of smoke, and you capture the smoke, and the smoke is flammable, and you can use that to run like a gasoline motor. I've never actually done it, but supposedly it works. But I don't have any internal combustion engines, so I guess.
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I mean, another thing is, I mean, I could collect the smoke and use it to do other things, I guess.
Right.
But I think before doing that, I would rather collect the methane from like decomposing stuff, in a.
So that brings me to the question: is how is that going?
Oh, how is that going? So someone asked how that's going?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, people always ask how that's going. I don't know. I've just not been paying attention. So at my house and at your house, we both have these containers that all the poop and food and just like a bunch of stuff goes into it, and it all decomposes in there, and then it makes methane.
Tomatoes thinks we make a great team.
Great team. It makes methane gas. Weird. Well, no, it's funny because like on things where we make a good team, we're a great team. On things where we don't make a great team, oh my God, it's so bad. Anyway, so we have these basically methane producers, and we've not actually tested the methane part to see if it's making enough methane to like run a stove or something. But you say you can smell methane on yours.
Oh yeah, totally.
And right now mine is plugged
Every time
up.
the kids don't flush the toilet, as soon as I get in there and flush it,
But
it's
that's
like
poop.
a big
Or is it like
gas.
It's like methane.
No, definitely. It's
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, mine is currently just plugged up because I wanted the methane to kind of build up, and then I could at some point unplug the plug and see if methane squirts out.
That Sarah says that she'd like to let you know that you're a big inspiration to her.
Yes.
You rock, and you got her working with. I assume it's a girl because her name is Sarah Connor.
What? No, that could be anyone. Sarah Connor's from Terminator 2.
Okay, well then it's somebody pretending to be a girl. Anyway.
Sarah Connor from the second movie where she was all jacked that was the best.
Oh, she was. So anyway, got me working with concrete, making statues right now, but gonna do building too. Thank you.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's like the best. That's like the best feedback to hear, that someone got inspired by something I did to like do some creative things. That's super cool.
And not to cut you off.
Yeah, what was I even talking about?
It's okay. We're gonna move on because somebody wants to know about bamboo.
Wait, but the gas.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
The fart machine,
Yeah,
the poop gas methane machine. No, there's more to it.
Oh.
It doesn't just make gas; it also makes fertilizer. So it makes this stinky brown water, which I have a little valve and I can get the stinky brown water out. Without touching it, like I just touch the valve and I hold the thing there, fill it up. Oh yeah, it smells terrible. But you put it on the plants and they're like, oh,
like
and
the dog eating the poop the other day.
Oh God, the dog ate the baby's poo. Yeah. Anyway, you pour this brown water on the plants, and it's been decomposing in an anaerobic state. Yeah, anaerobic without oxygen. Yeah, it's been decomposing without oxygen, which makes really good fertilizer.
Which
supposedly,
is awesome.
And seems to be working.
Yeah.
I mean, I've put it on my plants and none of them have died, and they seem to be growing very well. Those bean plants in front of my house that just make beans, like crazy amounts of beans. I put it on there, and I put it on a bunch of the trees and stuff. So the fertilizer seems to be doing really well. But at some point, I'm gonna have to test this methane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I have a lot of things going on, and I gotta prioritize.
Yeah. Speaking of prioritizing, could we talk about why we're not too keen on using bamboo?
Oh, because it rots. Oh, it rots so fast. It's horrible.
But there's a lot of people that say that you can build with it.
Okay.
It's so amazing.
So, I went through this whole thing several years ago with someone who, this lady in town who was like, oh, bamboo is amazing. And I was like, oh, yay, bamboo. And then she sends me to this website, look at all the stuff they're doing. And I'm immediately like, okay, what are they doing to the bamboo? How do they prep it? And they're like pumping like high pressure, putting borax into it. And I have nothing against borax, but man, the amount of labor intensive stuff to get the bamboo to not rot, it was just a lot to deal with, you know?
Yeah.
And
So does that mean like we won't really be using bamboo?
well, then I was kind of like, I mean, at first I was like, yay, bamboo. And then I was just like, oh, all that, oh, man. But that doesn't mean I'll never use some bamboo. Like I use bamboo now occasionally. I mean, I don't have any good bamboo growing, but occasionally I'll come across some of it and I'll use it for things that I know are just going to be temporary and whatever. But maybe at some point I'll want to get into this, you know, preserving bamboo and building stuff with it. I don't know.
As long as she's clothes on. Okay, so somebody else would like to know.
I'm reading your thing now. Sorry.
Oh, stop doing that. Love the work you guys do. Hope all is well. My question is, how long do you anticipate your concrete buildings will last before you need to do any major fixes or renovations, like fixing structural issues?
I don't know. That's a hard thing to answer because.
Can I ask a question within that you can also elaborate on because it's related to this?
All right, what's that?
Because we get so much rain, which is essentially distilled water. I read somewhere that actually deteriorates concrete. Is that true? Or do you know anything about
Probably. That? I mean, there's limestone, and it'll dissolve into water. I mean, not fast or anything, right. But so one of the difficult things about building here is that everything is on clay, which is like the worst thing to build on. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure there's worse things to build on than clay. Like straight up mush would be worse. But like even sand is considered more stable thing to build on than clay.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
So should we just get like a pile of sand?
Well, and put it on top of clay? I mean, anyway, that actually probably would be a little better, but it would be a lot. Anyway, so the clay moves, and you know, like when I built my house, I tried to make it so the water would flow around my building and no water would flow under it to like help the clay move. And the clay packs pretty hard. But the thing is, it's still clay, like it's pliable to some degree. So I don't know, like I'm gonna have to see how it goes. I'm hoping for a long time.
Tomatoes just said supposedly concrete lasts 100 years.
No, my concrete lasts more than 100 years.
That was a joke.
Oh, no. That's this.
Question. Will Darling would like to know, ever heard of putting a small current...
Pudding? Oh, I love pudding.
I know.
I want some chocolate pudding.
Putting a small current through the whole hull, could that stop suckers from growing?
Oh.
Good girl.
You mean like on a boat, like putting some electricity through it?
Yeah, to keep things from growing on the bottom.
Well, the problem is it's a fiberglass boat, so the electricity wouldn't do that much. But like on a metal boat, the thing is, with a metal boat, you have to be real careful because you don't want it to
Can we just do this and
start disintegrating your boat and stuff. There are things like
no, not right now.
Like sonar. I don't know if you can call it this, but like sonar things you can put on the hull of your boat that make sound waves that keep things from growing on your boat. But I don't know, like I was saying before, like I actually like getting in the water. It's like a good excuse for me to get in the water every time I'm out on my boat. Maybe not every time, but like anytime I'm out in my boat, I always have a reason to jump in the water and spend 5 minutes, scrubbing the boat, and then I'll, swim around a little. I like it. It's a good thing.
Terry Zabone would like to know.
Although if there was like a magic thing I could just put on the bottom of the boat where I never had to scrub it, I'd probably do it. I don't know. Now I'm wondering if I even would.
Yeah.
All right, Terry Zabone
would like to know, when we die, do we wake up?
I don't know.
Also.
Oh no.
Yeah, no kicking.
Dude, your baby's going crazy.
Yeah, your baby.
No, she's your baby right now.
Terry Zabone would also like to know, can you make ice pistols there?
I don't know what ice pistols are.
Yeah, me neither.
Is it like? Wait, this sounds kind of vaguely familiar. No, I'm thinking of a potato gun. I don't know. What's an ice pistol?
I have no
I'm
idea.
not sure.
Jason Everlanders wants to know, could you use wax for anti-fouling similar to what they would use on surfboards?
Well, I did wax my boats before putting them in the water originally, partly because when they come out of the mold, they have wax on them. And then I was like, well, let me just put a nice coat of wax on. Maybe it'll help. But yeah, it didn't. Maybe it lasted a little while, but I don't know if the wax came off or if the things just push the wax out of the way. The thing is, like, a barnacle will like dig in under the paint, which is
really
I was
annoying.
kind of surprised about that. Maybe
really
not surprised, more like impressed. I was just impressed. The barnacle was just like, and it was like the paint was going over it. It's like the paint was just like, and the barnacle was like stuck in there.
Apparently, Eric Bauerfeld is drinking an energy drink out of the steel coffee mug right now.
No way.
Yeah.
Is it excellent?
I don't know.
I bet it makes it so good.
Okay, this question. Wait, there was another question. I'm just looking for it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find it. Oh, what changes have... Oh, so Tomatoes was asking what changes have you made to the channel, but you answered that.
Oh, yeah.
Jaimie, in Sun Park would like to know, what do you think of Elon Musk?
I don't really think about Elon Musk.
And are you going to get Starlink?
Well, I do know a little bit about Elon Musk, but I don't keep up on it or anything. I don't like the self-driving cars. I hate that idea because that's just heading toward, what's that movie, WALL-E, with the people who just ended up in their self-driving little cars, and the drinks just can't. I don't like any of that automated, we'll do the life for you robot kind of stuff. Like, this kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. Like, I want to live. I want people to live and do things, because we really deteriorate when we don't do things. Like I don't think people should be driving around in an automatic car. I mean, that's obviously everyone has their own choice. Everyone has to decide what they want to do for themselves. But if you do that kind of thing, you just end up turning your brain off and not being engaged in life anymore. And the argument against that is always like, well, if I'm not paying attention to driving, I can, paint the Mona Lisa and, do all this amazing stuff, which is not usually what happens. Like, I feel like humans really need to have some invested activity in their own survival. Because without that, we start taking things for granted and just kind of getting lazy, and it's sort of just dying inside,
So
maybe there are people who don't have that, though.
On that, whatever. So you don't think that it's useful to have like an automatic car where you could be doing something else more useful? You think it's...
No, I think it's, there are so many times I've been driving like on some long trip when I've thought, oh, it would be so nice if I could just go take a nap in the back seat and the car would just do it. But I think I would have missed a lot of experiences and just going through the difficulties of that kind of thing. It gave me a perspective of life that I wouldn't have gotten if things were too easy. And I think that's a big part of it. When life becomes too easy, we get stagnant. We just stop learning and stop growing. I think we need to keep doing things in our lives. And I'm not against, fancy technology and doing more amazing things and stuff. I just think that there are things that are like beneficial to life and things that are detrimental to life. And one of the things that I've consistently found to be detrimental to life is just automation, making everything automatic, because people take so much for granted. And when things get too easy, people stop growing. Oh, but wait, what else do I know? I'm glad Elon Musk is shooting rockets into outer space. Yeah, that's cool. Although I don't know that much about the whole program in general, because I don't keep up with it.
Well, speaking of shooting things into outer space, did you know about the asteroid experiment that they're doing to try to see if they can move an asteroid. I think I showed this to you guys yesterday.
Yeah, you showed us a video about that, but it was raining super hard.
And it was hard to hear it.
And I couldn't hear anything. I mean, at first I could hear it, but then it was raining so hard.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, we're in the tropics. Occasionally it just rains buckets. And it rained like all night last night, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was crazy. Hopefully the water tanks are overflowing though, which is great. But so some dudes are shooting a thing at an asteroid.
Yeah, they launched it in November.
Oh, it's already going great.
Yeah,
at a specific asteroid.
At a specific
and they're
asteroid.
moving it.
It's the Didymos asteroid group, which is one big asteroid, and then it has its moon, which is the smaller asteroid that orbits.
It's really nice when they're kind of the same size.
Yeah.
But I mean, if one's a little bit bigger than the other, that's fine. It's not a big deal. That's cool. Hopefully they don't nudge it like into the Earth
orbit that will.
Wouldn't that be funny? Yeah.
Earth, like 30 years from now. I know.
Oh, can you imagine the guys like when they find that out? Oh no. Oh, what are we gonna do?
Well, I think the understanding that I had is that this one specifically is in the belt.
I'm gonna presume they're doing it in a way that's nowhere near.
Yeah.
But the thing with the asteroids, there's a lot of them flying around. Yeah. Like they could nudge it a little bit that way, and like 6 years from now, it could hit an asteroid that it was never gonna be near, and then clink either itself or the other one at the Earth, and then it would be like, oh no.
Apparently, Eric Bauerfeld, you've inspired him to start making a wiki page of actually useful open source atomic contextual relevant building steps.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So when not in use, do you lift your boats out of the water? Or do you plan to make something to do that in the future?
I want to do something. Okay, so right now, right now I only have one boat in the water. And it's the boat that I use most of the time, and I just leave it in the water all the time because, you know, I just scrub off the bottom every day or two, and it's fine. I do occasionally use another boat, which is my littlest boat. It's faster than my other boat. So if I have to go to town and I'm just getting small stuff, I'll take my little boat, and that one's small enough that I can just by hand drag it up onto the shore and put it into the water. And I do have my biggest boat, which is the Shark Slicer. It's like my cargo boat, and it's kind of parked up on a beach where it's most of the time out of the water. During high tide, it's in the water. But I do want to build something to pull boats in and out, and I want to
talk about that for like a few minutes.
I am going to talk about that for a minute. Right. Oh, she's going to go knock out a baby. Okay, so I talked about this in one of the videos not too long ago. I want to build like a big dome scaffolding. What the heck is this stain?
Oh, somebody said it might be armpit, like old armpit.
No, I think it's oil actually, because I was doing something with oil yesterday. Because at first I thought armpit, but no, there's my armpit. I got this one too. I got right across the front. It was because it doesn't matter.
So you're talking about boat lists.
I was talking about boat lists. Yeah. So I want to build. Okay, inside my house right now, on the third floor, is where the dome roof starts, and on the inside of it, there's a steel pipe frame, like just like a geodesic dome, like a steel pipe thing. And I want to build something like that outside in the water over where I park the boats. And the more I think about it, the more I think I need to do it. Kind of like it keeps nudging its way up my priority list, because I'm just like, wow, that's going to be a really cool thing. One of the things that's keeping it from getting up so much is that I'm going to have to make it with stainless steel pipes, which are more expensive than galvanized pipes. Of course, I could do it with galvanized steel pipes, and it would last several years, but it's going to fall apart in 5 or 10 years. But if I make it in stainless steel, it's going to last, I don't know. I mean, those way past me anyway. So that's the option I would have to go with. I just would need to get enough money to buy the stainless steel pipes. And I'm not sure what it'll cost, but yeah, I'll have to figure that out. A couple $1,000 maybe or so. So I want to make this like 3 or 4 story tall, just steel pipe dome, with big openings in the front and the back and the sides. So there may maybe be 4 parts where it actually comes down to the ground, and then big openings so you can get in there. And then most of it is just, it's a big steel pipe frame where I can attach hoists and stuff and like lift boats. And part of this whole thing would be out over the land and part over the water. So I could pick up a boat over the water, drag it out over the land, or, if I have heavy cargo or whatever, it can be used to move that stuff around. And I already have the stainless steel bolts for it because how many years ago? I don't know, like 5 years ago or something, I found someone on Craigslist, I think, who was selling boxes of stainless steel bolts really cheap. And I was like, how much for the whole thing? And so I ended up buying 3,500 stainless steel bolts, like about the size of my pinky, like 1/2 inch thick. I think I got them for 7 cents a piece. Anyway, it was like $250 for 3,500 of these big fat stainless steel bolts. So I have tons of stainless steel bolts. I just need to get the pipes and drill them and all that. And when I get it all put together, I was thinking I could use the top to put some solar panels on. And presuming I make it high enough, which I would, I can even build a few little rooms in there, maybe a bit of workshopy stuff like up in the top. And it would be cool if I could like drive a boat like in the water and stop under this thing and have this crane come down and just lift it up, and then it'll pick it up, and then there'll be floors like suspended like a couple stories up, so I could get off the boat off to the sides and operate on things, and maybe even lower, I could lift the boat up high enough that I could scrape off the bottom if there's stuff I need to scrape, or operate on whatever, fix holes or whatever. And I just think this would be really useful for a lot of different things. Plus it'd be super cool. I could put a rope going up to the top and just swing out into the canal and do cannonballs and stuff.
I have another question relating to boats.
And there's one other thing I'm gonna have to do. So I've got Dashaina has another question for me, but I'm gonna finish this first. So I'll have this big stainless steel frame. It is way bigger than I'm showing with my hands, but like 40 or 50 feet across and like 4 stories tall, 3 or 4 stories tall, probably 4. Anyway, but at the bottom, since it's only coming down to 4 spots, I'm gonna have to make big concrete platforms, probably concrete, or maybe they could be stainless steel too, but I'm thinking right now just like big concrete, like maybe like pyramids, where it has a big footprint and it has a nice hard thing to attach to at the top. Okay, I got another question about boat. I'm really excited. I'm kind of, the more I think about making that big scaffolding boathouse thing, the more excited I get. I think that's going to be really cool. I could put a few panels up there to block sun and just have, there's so many things I could do with it. Okay.
Would you consider mixing copper pieces into the paint, or
would I consider mixing copper pieces into the paint or the resin,
putting copper as the bottom of the
or using copper as the bottom of a boat? Well, I understand that I did look into this a little bit. Copper in the water is kind of toxic for the local wildlife, which is why I haven't put copper in, why I haven't used copper paint or any copper in the resin. Because I know a guy, and we were talking about this, and he did some experiments where he took a bunch of leftover copper wire and cut it up and ground it up or whatever, made little bits, mixed it in with his resin, and put it on the bottom of a boat in a little test piece, and then ground it down so the copper's showing. And I don't know how his did, but he said it's supposed to work really well. But I never did it, basically because it's toxic to the wildlife. And I don't mind cleaning my own boat. Yeah, I feel like the best solution for that whole thing is just pulling the boats out of the water. Like I feel like that's the real long-term solution. Because even if you have copper on the bottom of the boat or stuff like that, like eventually it's going to wear away. And all the anti-fouling paint, it lasts a certain number of years, and then you got to redo it. You have to pull the boat out of the water to do that anyway. So why not just make a thing that'll pull the boat out of the water?
Question: are there still
Question.
do you have bearings on your boat pedals, or there's still not bearings on your boat pedals? And do you have 5-centimeter leather soles on your feet now?
Oh, okay. So I drive a pedal boat all the time, right? It also has solar panel and motor, but I'm pretty much always pedaling, even if the motor's out. But even, sometimes it's cloudy or I'm driving somewhere in the dark. Anyway, I'm always pedaling this boat. And the question is, do I have bearings on the pedals? Like I obviously have bearings on the main parts, where it turns around and turns the paddle wheel and everything. But where I put my feet, there are no bearings. I think it would be super cool to put like some pedals that I could strap in that I could, push and pull and, have bearings on there. But I haven't done that because I just haven't needed to. And the parts where I put my feet on, they're pretty thick. They're like, I don't know, 5 centimeter diameter, like 2 inches thick. And, it's pretty smooth. And I just rest like, if this is the balls of my feet. Why do feet have balls? I don't need balls. I'll kind of put the thing right here and push. And then since it's going around, wait, which way is it going? It ends up going that way. It ends up rolling up my foot. And then every time I take my foot off, I just kind of reposition it to push and ends up there and reposition to push. So there's no actual rubbing on my feet. If I was just going around and the thing was rotating like on one spot on my foot, it would really like make some serious calluses and what are those things? Blisters and stuff. But no, it actually ends up working out pretty well. It kind of rolls my foot, and if I ever have a kind of a sore spot in my foot, I'll put it on that spot, and it's kind of like a foot massage. It's pretty good. And I've driven the thing like a lot, like thousands of miles, and no foot problems.
How do you feel about planned or focused eugenics for any given human society?
Oh, eugenics. All right. Do you know what eugenics are?
No, tell me.
You're just saying that. So I don't know what the actual definition in the dictionary of eugenics is, but the rough idea is like having some say in, the genetic, like the genetic, what do you call it? So having some say in our genetics, like controlling controlling breeding, who has babies and stuff.
Controlling the mutations.
Well, that's where I'm not sure what the specific definition is. Like,
anybody want to post the specific definition?
Well, you could look it up on the dictionary. But is it like basically controlled breeding? So, to direct certain characteristics to become more whatever. Okay, the way I think eugenics should work is that every individual should on their own just think, do I have good genetics to pass on? And I think it should be just the responsibility of people. And, obviously when you're looking for a partner, that's one of the things you look for. It's like, well, is this person got a history of like some terrible disease that runs through their family? Well, maybe they shouldn't have so many kids, so maybe I don't want to have kids with them. Like, I think it should always be personal choice for people. And I do think there is a lot of value in thinking about that, in thinking about, the future generations and what you're passing on by having kids with whoever. What are you doing?
I'm stopping you from slamming your hand down again.
Oh, am I making too much noise?
No, you're shuffling the...
I'm moving. Anyway, now eugenics becomes a serious problem when governments get involved.
Yeah, that's
or any kind of organization. So, yeah, I don't think there should be any laws or anything like that. I think
be any kind of like regulation.
Yeah, I don't think there should be any laws. And I feel like that about a lot of things.
Well, we talked about gun control a couple weeks ago.
I think last week I was talking, there was something about how I think we need to get off rules and laws, and we need to start, doing things based on morality instead of rules. And this is a perfect example. Because, once someone is making the laws of who gets to have babies and who doesn't, well, it's just a recipe for disaster. That person has too much control over other people's lives. I think it should be totally up to the individual people to say, well, what am I passing on to the next generation? Should I or should I not?
Right.
You know, maybe if I have really good genes, I'll be like, whoa, I'm really happy with this genes. I should have as many babies as possible. And maybe if I'm like, oh, my genes are pretty good, but all right, maybe I'll have, a fewer babies. And the thing is, you don't have to have some kind of absolute stringent, these people can have babies and these people cannot, to have a positive benefit over a long period of time. Because the way evolution works, you just need a little bit of pressure in a direction, and over several generations you strongly encourage certain characteristics. And one of the characteristics that always comes to my head, one of the first things, is just ease of childbirth. Like women have such a difficult time having children, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's easy.
Oh,
Piece
no,
of cake.
it's amazing.
Right. So what if, just without government controls or anything, what if people just started just kind of keeping in mind, women who have easier childbirth, maybe having a few more babies here and there, just kind of gently encouraged, being gently encouraged to have more kids. And then maybe people who have really difficult time having children, maybe having a little bit fewer kids. And over several generations, there would be this mild pressure to have easier childbirth. And 200 years later, people could look back and say, yeah, people used to have difficult childbirth, and now it's so much better.
Sorry, guys, I'm modding right now.
Kicking out some bad people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Eric, whatever, you just moved it. But yeah, Eric was just talking about how cool cranes are. Yeah, I totally
Tomatoes, I've just bumped you up to being a moderator. Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Okay. No, don't touch it. It'll fade. Don't touch it. Okay, so there's a couple more questions.
Yes, what this guy just said.
Wait,
exactly.
Don't touch the screen. I'm going back up there.
Oh, fine. Well, someone was just saying that when thinking about thinking about wanting to give your own kids the best possible chance of, having a good genetic future, or whatever you want to call it, is great. But it becomes a problem when you want to control other people's kids. And yeah, I'm totally with that. And that all goes back to what I was saying a week ago about getting off laws and just getting on morality. Like people need to be responsible for their own lives, for their own children, and all that kind of stuff, instead of just saying, well, the government will take care of it, or weird social rules will steer me in the right direction, because they won't, because there are people who are going to get hold of those levers and steer people in the wrong direction. Yeah. Because once you have things like laws controlling people's lives, people get excited and they're like, ooh, if I take control of this, I can control all those people. Playing God. Yeah, you don't want to play God.
Did you just touch the screen?
No, I didn't actually.
Why did that happen? Okay, question for you. It's about the dragon scales idea. How about
aluminum beer cans?
Flat aluminum beer cans. Doesn't aluminum deteriorate?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't think that's a terrible idea. There are a couple difficulties though. One would be them to the concrete, and then the other is, I don't know how the aluminium would last in this environment.
Right.
Like, yeah. That would be a buttload of beer cans too. I don't drink nearly as much as I would need to. Yeah.
How much does your chainmail vest weigh?
My chainmail vest weighs 35 pounds, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I haven't checked in a while. I'm making a new one though. With my old chainmail vest, every once in a while I'd put a few more rings on it, so it was always kind of increasing in
Tomatoes, you're
weight.
Going to do an awesome job as moderator. I already know it, so don't worry.
Nice. But yeah, I'm making a new chainmail that's out of stainless steel, so I don't have to worry about getting salt water on it so much. That one I'll make probably heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I used to run with 100 pounds on, so I'd wear my chainmail vest and then another vest on top of that, and then hand weights and ankle weights.
Would you be concerned about becoming like too dehydrated too quickly here in this environment specifically, like being able to keep up your water intake with the amount of sweat that you would lose from like the heat of working and whatever here compared to like where you were before?
I just have to drink more.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, are you talking about like when I'm doing intense stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be that much difference because
Oh, thanks, Skepperget.
if I'm doing intense activity, whether it's like exercising on purpose or digging or whatever, I get so hot. I'm just sweating like a pig, like anywhere. Like when we lived in Vermont, I'd be out and it would be like 2 degrees Fahrenheit, like minus 20 Celsius, and I'd be sweating like a pig.
Yeah.
And it would be like the edges of my shirts would be like ice from the sweat. But yeah, I would sweat like a pig anywhere doing really intense stuff.
Right.
And I just have to make sure I drink enough.
Yeah. Are you eligible, and if you were, would you consider running for a seat in the National Assembly of Panama?
I don't know.
Do you even know what that is?
I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, I presume it's some of the political people who I have thought about that a little bit.
Right, about
Like,
getting
would I
into
want
politics here?
to try to get into? Oh God, it sounds horrible. But like, the thing about politics, it's like it sounds like a miserable job, but like someone has to do it, and so many of the wrong people are doing that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'd have to improve my Spanish for sure.
Yeah, a lot.
Because like
I can't translate for you all the time.
I can speak Spanish, but it's not. I sound like an idiot, and I always have to ask people to talk slower.
Yeah, más despacio.
Más despacio, más lento, por favor.
How do you feel and think about your body changing as you get older?
You mean how I get more muscles and get more awesomely huge and stuff? I'm getting so
I don't think it
buff.
works that way.
No, every year I get like more and more pumped up because I'm leveling up.
10 more pounds of muscle.
I actually haven't changed my weight. Like, I mean, I fluctuate, but I'm always in the same zone since I was like 20.
Since the dawn of man.
Since I was about 20, I'm always like 180 to 200 pounds. I've been in that range for like the last couple decades, except for that one time when I was like, hey, I wonder if I could get big and jacked, and I got up to like 215-ish, and I was just eating constantly. Oh my God, it was ridiculous. And finally I was like, oh, I can't keep up with this. But man, I was huge. I had like so many pectoral muscles, and these things were all like, I had no neck, and my neck was like this wide. I know 215 isn't that huge or anything, but it felt like I was just like carrying around all these like extra muscles all the time. But in terms of getting older, I haven't. Okay, I do have a stupid story about this. About 3 months ago, did I say this already in one of these?
I don't know.
3 or 4 months ago, I started running again.
Unscripted.
Yeah. So I started running again because I used to run all the time. Like I used to run competitively, and then after that I would still run every day and like run hard. Like I liked running. I run all the time. Then I moved to the islands here, and there's it's islands. There's not that much.
Run.
Yeah, I would run off the dock into the water and be like, hey. So now I have a little runway around my house, and it's like 40 laps to make a mile. And a few months ago, I was like, okay, now that I've got this, I mean, it's like a 45-meter track, but still I can run on it. I'm going to run just a mile every morning. And then, that should be really easy, right? And then I'll work up from there to where I'm really running. And the first day I ran that mile, oh my God, it felt so amazing. It felt so great. And I was like so pumped and excited. And yeah, it felt great. I made a video right after, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I haven't done anything with it yet. Yeah. But yeah, I was super excited. And then the second day, I was pretty good. And the third day, my calves were starting to feel a little bit like, argh. By the end of the week, like my calves were so like tight and like knotted up, I could like barely walk. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to work out okay. And I thought I was starting like really easy with only a mile, because I used to wake up in the morning and I go run 10 miles and then I run another 10 miles later in the day. Sometimes I'd run a marathon every day and it was fine. It was like, what's a mile? And my first thought was, oh no, is that it? Did I get old? I'm done. I got old. Sure. That's it. I'm not going to recover from this. I'm just old from now on, and it's all downhill. And I was like, no, get a hold of yourself, Jaimie. Hold on. You've been running this pedal boat for so long and, not doing any running, maybe it's just you're not used to the high impact activity. Because cardiovascularly, I was fine. I wasn't feeling tired or anything. It was just my feet and my calves were killing me. So then I spent every Monday and Friday and Wednesday, when I do push-ups and sit-up days in the morning, I added in some calf exercises, some calf raise and one leg hops. And at first they felt horrible because my calves were so knotted up and tight. But then I just kept doing them every day and they started getting a little better. And then about 2 months after that, suddenly one day I was like, oh, my calves don't hurt. And this was a few weeks ago now. And I was like, all right, let me start running again, but let me just really ease into it. So I only did like 20 laps that first day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I feel fine. And then
which is like half a mile.
It's like half a mile. And then 2 days later, I was like, well, let me just do 25 laps. And I did the 25 laps. Ooh, I felt fine. Now I'm up to 35 laps, which is still less than a mile, but I feel fine. My calves have been felt really great and everything. And then the other day I went to the forest, into the jungle to cut some not firewood.
Oh, the day it started pouring.
No, to cut some boards. That's what I was cutting boards. I wouldn't go into the jungle to cut firewood. What am I talking about? I went into the jungle to cut some boards off this log that's been out there that I've been milking for a year and a half. And I got the boards out, and between moving the boards, I started running. So I'd move a board, then run back. A couple 100 meters to grab the next board. And I was like, wow, this feels amazing. I feel so good running again. And I realized, yeah, that age thing, I think people give up on themselves too easily by thinking, oh, I just got old. It wasn't getting old. It was just that I wasn't used to the high impact on my legs. And once I did a bunch of exercise and I started wearing my weight vest and, oh yeah, I always wear my weight vest when I'm doing my morning runs now too, because I really want to get my legs super strong so they don't crap out on me.
Can I ask you a question about
So yeah, I haven't had any oldness things happen.
So do you feel like,
except I got gray hair and I have way less.
You got some wrinkles right here.
Where are the wrinkles? I don't see any wrinkles.
So a similar thing happened to me the other day when I started doing push-ups again, and I had a headache for 5.
I don't have any wrinkles anymore.
I was asleep, and I thought you were asleep. So yeah, I had a similar experience with doing push-ups for the first time, and
really,
I had a headache for 3 days.
Is it because you got tightened up these?
Yeah. But I only did 10 push-ups.
Oh, isn't that horrible?
I should have done less, fewer.
Yeah. Well, this is even when I was younger, when I was 20 and I was exercising like crazy all the time because track and field and other sports and stuff. Anytime I started something new, I'd always start, say I was starting new push-ups, I would do one the first day.
Right.
Just one push-up. I'd be like, this is like nothing.
Yeah, I think.
And then the second day, I would do 2.
Did you focus on form more?
Oh, they'd be
quantity?
Perfect push-ups.
Yeah, because that's really important, right? To just focus on doing one perfectly.
Yeah,
before you increase.
But then at the end of 2 weeks, I'd be doing 14, and I would still be like, oh, this is like nothing. And then by the end of the month, I'd be 30 in a row, and I'd be like, all right, now I'm starting to thing.
When somebody is starting over in their fitness journey,
start at nothing and just inch your way up.
Is it more important to focus that you're doing the form correctly and only doing one of the thing versus trying to get 5 done?
No, I'd always, if you're start with hardly anything. Make sure you do the form really well. And then just slowly increase. Well, the thing is and this is something I learned by doing a lot of exercise, and every time I started something new, I found it was most beneficial to do far less than I felt like doing. So if I was starting to do morning runs, for example, I'd go out for a morning run and I'd run a mile, which at the time was nothing. And I would want to do more. But I felt it was really beneficial to my long-term exercise program to always leave myself wanting to do more. And then the next day I do a mile and a quarter, and I'd feel I want to do 10. No, just hold back. And I keep holding myself back, but then I would keep wanting to do more. And then 3 months later, I wouldn't be oh, I'm so sick of this. I would still want to do more, even when I got up to the point where I was doing a lot.
What would you say to a person who's desiring to change their body, like to become more fit or whatever. Hold on. To become more fit, but doesn't
Is
really
this a
have the motivation to do it. Like they're finding, like they're coming up with all these excuses as to why. Like, is there some type of way that you like mentally encourage yourself to do the things that need to be done, like when you don't really want to do them, you know?
well, for me personally, when I got to that day where I was like, oh, maybe I'm just old and I can't do it anymore, I may have sworn loudly, oh, if this, no way, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not accepting this crap. So that's for me. I just get really stubborn and angry, and I'm just like,
Yeah, because you're not
you know,
ready for a walker yet.
no, I'm not. No, I'm going 90 miles an hour right into the coffin. I'm gonna crack the coffin when I hit it. I'm gonna when I go into the hole in the ground, I'm turning it into a crater. They're not even gonna have to fill me in. I'm gonna hit it going so fast, all the dirt's gonna fall in behind me, and they're gonna be like, whoa, I guess that's it. He's gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So like, say you want to start an exercise thing, and you're not that motivated. This is a tough one.
Well, like, okay, so for example, like
yeah,
we'll just use
I
me
was
'cause
about
I'm
to
the
say
typical,
different people
I
are
would say like
different.
I'm the typical mom who
Yeah.
like has like way overwhelmed, super underslept, and can't even like focus on a complete sentence most of the time. And the last thing I can think about is trying to fit in like 10 minutes of my day to do something that's probably going to make me feel better later on because it feels terrible when I'm doing it. Like, what do you say to those moms?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's like, well, like, it's hard to say because different people are motivated by different things. Like for me,
So like, wait, so would the key be to find something that motivates you?
yeah,
Like,
find whatever motivates you. Yeah.
yeah.
Like for me, I think, like whenever I'm feeling stuck with that, I think about the goal I'm going for. Like when I get there, it's going to be amazing.
Right.
I just need to get there. All right, so just start doing the thing. So
And then sticking to it, I think, is also another difficult thing. Like I find for myself personally, I can get to 30 days. Generally speaking, no problem.
Yeah.
It's the after that.
Yeah, and you can do anything for a month, but doing it for a year, it's like.
Yeah. And like you get bored or you get like distracted or you're,
Well,
you know,
one thing that
change,
thing that you can do to help fight the boredom is to take it way too seriously. So like you may have noticed when I was talking about my muscles, I'm like, yeah, my muscles. Like when I'm exercising, I'm like, yeah, I'm like the Hulk. Yeah, I'm gonna be so strong. And I know I'm not gonna be able to lift a house up, but I act like I'm gonna be able to, and I take it seriously, even though I know I'm ridiculous. And that makes it not boring. It makes it fun. You know, I'm like, you know, I go out and run, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a supercar. I'm gonna run at Mach 6. Yeah, and I know I'm not going that fast, but I, you know, just make up whatever silly stories in my head.
Right.
He-Man.
So like it's kind of good to know what your motivation is. So like whatever your motivation is, and then also have a clear visual of what your goal is. And that visual can be either in your mind or
don't talk to the wrong people about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, when this isn't specific to me, but I know a lot of people who have this problem where they, like if they have a goal, they feel like they're vulnerable.
Right.
Like someone's gonna come crush my goal if I let them know. And then they'll talk to people about it, and then of course they'll just crush their goal.
Right.
And then they lose all the motivation.
Or on the other side of that, maybe not people are telling them they can't do it, but maybe they get derailed for a day and then they feel like they just have to give up because they missed a day.
Yeah.
Or two.
You know what I do when I miss a day? Whenever I miss a day, I never try to make it up. I just keep going.
Yeah.
Because trying to make it up, then it ends up snowballing.
Yeah.
So like say I want to run 10 miles every morning and I miss a morning. The next day am I going to run 20 miles? And I'm not going to be able to walk the next day. And then I'm trying to run the 10 miles where I'm so tired. No, if I miss a day, I just missed it. It's too bad. I should have done it. If I didn't do it when I was supposed to do it, I missed my chance. Right. And then it also makes me feel like, you know, when I'm supposed to do it, oh, if I don't do it right now, I'm going to miss my chance. So I better get on it.
So like, let's say that, because a lot of people follow like these, like there's a website that offers some really great free like fitness plans. Like they're kind of fun to follow and you know, they have like themes and stuff,
Mhm.
but you know, they're usually set over a calendar, any from 30, 60, 90, 180 days. So like, let's say that I'm doing that and
I
like,
have a problem with that.
yes, but can I just finish my sentence?
Yeah.
So let's say I'm doing that and I get to day 6 and I miss day 6. Do I just skip day 6 and go
Yes.
to day 7? So
Skip
I've
day
missed
6.
out on the opportunity to
You
do
missed
day
it.
6.
Just keep
Okay.
going.
And
But
now,
don't beat yourself up on it.
right,
Just try
just
to
keep
not
going.
miss another one.
Now, if I got to the end of the 180 days, could I go back and
No.
pick up the days that I
No,
missed,
because
or
that's
just
you're
move
gonna
on
go
with my
drive
life?
yourself
Yeah.
crazy, like looking backwards. No,
Yeah.
keep going forward. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll totally lose your mind if you think about all the things you didn't do. There are a
So,
million things you could have done
yeah.
that you didn't do.
So what
And
is
there's a
your
million things you're
issue?
gonna miss in the
So what
future.
is your issue with plans like that?
The days.
Right.
This is a 90-day plan. What? After that, you just get fat?
No, after that you pick another cool plan. Like at least that's how it is on this particular website, which I think is
All
pretty
right,
cool.
all
It's
right.
actually really
I guess
fun.
that's fine.
It's a lot of like
As long as it's not
superhero
like
hero stuff.
just a set thing that you do and then
No.
you finish. 'Cause,
No,
like,
no, you're
it's
encouraged to pick another one.
good.
Yeah.
Because like with fitness and exercise, it should be like the end is when I'm dead. Like
Yeah.
you always you have this body. You got to take care of it the whole time you have it. Because
Yeah.
once you don't, it just turns into a marshmallow and you feel like crap all the time.
No, like for me with this particular website, I really like that they offer like every day they have a challenge they post. It's just automatically, and then they post like a different workout of the day, which is like usually kind of fun and
Well, you know what you
silly
can
and
do if you're a
yeah.
guy is put up pictures of ladies who are in really good shape. It's like, oh man, maybe if I get in good shape, she would talk to me about it.
And then like that brings me to the other.
Yeah.
It's actually good that you mentioned that, the whole like, you know, putting up a picture and idolizing another person or whatever.
Oh, that's not
like,
what I meant.
I know
But
that's
yes.
not what you meant. But so that brings me to the question is,
Yeah.
how do you like visualize your best self if you've never seen your best self and not comparing yourself to others to make yourself feel like you can't reach your goal? Do you know what I mean?
Here's a question. And this is going to be totally outside my perspective. Like for me, if I put a picture of the Hulk up, or like, let's just go with the Hulk up,
Right.
and I'm trying to make muscles, I would look at the Hulk and be like, yeah, I'm going to do that. But I wouldn't do a thing that I've heard a lot of other people do, which is look at the Hulk and be like, oh, I'll never be like that. See, for me, I want to aim for something I'm never going to be able to get.
Right.
And then see how close I can get.
Like Thor.
I needed to be like that. Anyway, so if you put up like a picture of some lady who's in like amazing shape, would you look at that and be like, that's where I'm headed?
Oh, like what's her name from the
or
Day
would
After
you be
Tomorrow?
like, oh,
She was
yeah, like
Emily
Blunt, yeah, in The Day After Tomorrow, when she was all,
she was
she had all those
jacked,
muscles, she looked great.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you had a picture of her up
Right.
when she was in that movie, when
Right.
she was all jacked, or Linda Hamilton from Terminator 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Linda
she was
Hamilton
seriously
jacked
in
too.
great shape. Yeah, would that motivate you, or would that make you feel bad that, oh, I'm so
Well,
flabby?
like for me, I don't know. It wouldn't be a problem because I know what I
Well,
look
that
like
wouldn't be a
ideally.
problem.
Like I wouldn't feel shamed or anything for
But would
seeing
it
that.
help you?
Well, that's what I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure, but I
Would
think
it-
it's because like I can visualize my best self because I've seen my best self and I know that I can attain that.
You've had your best self?
Yeah.
Oh
Which is
my
not right
God.
now.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
want-
I think I've had my ideal best self. Like
Cool.
I have attained that. It's possible to do it also.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I want to get my best self.
But you've been your
No.
best self before too.
No, I'm jealous.
No, you've totally been your
when
best
was I
self.
my best
And you
self?
had that. It's a picture I saw of you a long time ago.
When I was in.
When you were in, it was something running college maybe.
Oh, when I was running hurdles?
Yeah, maybe that was it.
I was in pretty good shape
You had
then.
some nice legs then.
There's one time that I was in better shape that I do not have pictures of.
Yeah.
It was when I was building my house in Vermont. When I first moved off grid, and I was just fired up and like ready to go. And I was moving rocks. Like I spent like 2 months pulling rocks out of the ground and moving them. And like I kept trying to move bigger and bigger rocks because the bigger rocks I could move, like the more rocks were then available for me to be able to use, right?
Right. I guess.
And I hadn't seen myself in like 2 months, like no mirrors or anything. And I went to a friend's house and I had a shower there.
And
Because
you're
they were like,
damn, who's this hot
because they were
man?"
like, yeah, man, you can use a shower. You haven't had a shower in a while. I was like, yeah, man. So I came out and they had like a big mirror, and I saw just like the Hulk come out of the shower, and I was like ripped, like shrink wrapped skin, all like six packed up and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, I should have gotten a picture of it.
Yeah.
But I was just like, that's awesome. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the most like jacked I've ever been. I don't know how much I weighed, but
Yeah.
that was just like piles of muscles and like really lean.
Right.
But that's not sustainable, man. How hard I was working that was just ridiculous.
Well, that's the other. So that was the other question that I was going to add to this is, so we're all kind of like, what's the word? Consumer in the consumeristic culture. They're constantly bombarding us with advertisements of photoshopped individuals who look amazing, and we're told you can attain this in 30 days or 100 days or whatever. But is it sustainable to maintain that body?
That's the other question is like when I was like really ripped, that was not sustainable.
Right.
What I am right now, this is sustainable.
Right.
Like,
so like the key is to find your ideal self, and that is sustainable.
Well, I think it's like you have to pick like how much work do you want to. It's like you can be a certain level of fitness, and then there's a certain level of effort and time it takes. Like where do you put it where it ends up being the best value for you?
Right.
You gotta go shopping and be like, well, how much time will I be happy putting into this? And how happy will I be with the results?
I also just want to say, if we've missed your question, please post it again.
Yeah, just add me.
It's hard for me to scroll all the way back, but don't feel like it's a problem if you post your question again when we go on to tangents and talk for a little while about something.
I like it when people repost the question.
Yeah,
actually.
Please repost the questions. So I've got a question. Anyone in Panama selling a used Millennium Falcon? I need to rendezvous with Starboard by the Orion Nebula at 4 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, you're not gonna be able to keep that schedule. Yeah, you better look somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the ships here, they rust. I mean, there's just the salt water is too much.
Sorry, guys.
Unless it's a stainless steel ship, you might want to. Yeah, the Millennium Falcon would be a problem. But if you could find one of the older stainless ships before they started making them, purposely rust apart.
Yeah, the planned obsolescence.
Like the what was that? Back to the Future, the DeLorean ships. They were. Do you know about the DeLorean cars?
Yeah, they're the ones in the Back to the Future.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
With the
But they were made with all the stainless steel.
Oh yeah, right. And they were super heavy.
No, it's not that they were super heavy, but they didn't need any body work ever.
Oh,
so like there was so little maintenance costs on them. People got angry that like people who worked on cars were like, this sucks. We want cars that are going to rust, that need constant maintenance.
Right.
Anyway, that's what I heard anyway.
So the Everlanders would like to know, I really want to know.
Why do they want to know so much?
How much power is needed for the zombie chopper to get to town and back at full speed, i.e. your battery suitcase is 600 watt hours and that will get you 30 minutes, etc. Have you done that calculation?
The motor is a 1100 watt motor. And at full speed, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half each way, maybe 3 hours. So 3,300 watt hours.
Wow.
I think I did that right. Wait, how much did I say my battery suitcase was?
600 watt hours.
Yeah, so I'd need 5 or 6 of those.
How much would that weigh?
I don't know. Well, except the thing is, if the sun is out at the time,
right?
Like, and I can get, how much? I have 5 solar panels up there. Maybe I could count on. I mean, the thing is, like, theoretically, I could get over 1,000 watts out of the solar panels, but they're never quite what they say. So let's say I could get 800 watts out of there. That means I only need 300 more from the batteries.
Right.
So 300 watts for 3 hours. I only need 900 watts.
Well, that's it.
Not 900 watt hours. I mean, yeah. So what was my battery suitcase? 600.
600.
Yeah, on a good sunny day, I could go pretty much
that water. You could hydrofoil
full
all
speed
the way there.
if I got like a little bit more. But I really like driving just on solar panels. Like even when I had batteries on the boat I'm driving right now, Like I could drive at full speed on the batteries for a while, but most of the time I just drive on the solar panels.
So speaking of solar panels, have you considered trying? A couple of your fans have been sort of urging you 6 panels. Is that going to happen?
Oh, you mean on the zombie chopper? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I think they really want 6.
They really want 6?
Yeah, they want
to
6.
to max out the motor.
Yeah.
That would give me 1,200 watts theoretically. Of course, it's never actually the thing.
Right.
But theoretically, yeah, I could run the motor pretty much at full speed.
Right.
I don't know. I like it goes pretty fast at 5. I haven't gotten video of that because I only took it out one day when it was a clear day and I got sun. Man, that thing flies. I mean, not like a gas motor, but.
Jaimie, do you visualize vividly with your mind's eye what you imagine, like in a dream? I don't. I just know what's in my mind, but I never see it. Thought it was the same for everyone.
Oh, this brings up an interesting concept of brain code. Have you heard me speak on brain code before?
I have.
Yeah, so when I'm thinking in my most efficient way, I'm not actually picturing things. I'm just like what this guy's talking about. What was he talking about?
He was asking if you visualize vividly with your mind's eye what you imagine, like in a dream, or do you just know but never see it?
Yeah, it's more like when I'm using brain code, which is the most efficient language for my brain to think in, because it's the language that my brain uses. That's how I normally think, and there are no images, no words, nothing that I could really communicate with someone else. It's more like this vague, very efficient, dense, just kind of information thing. But then if I want to draw a picture of something, then I'll be like, okay, let's blow that up and make a picture, or maybe even parts of the picture or whatever. But most of the time I'm thinking I'm not actually getting a vivid picture at all.
Right.
But I can, like when I want to. Like I do that on purpose. So it's like an extra thing I'm thinking about.
I see.
I'd actually be interested in hearing how other people think. Like do most people think in images and words and stuff? And does that guy, when he thinks about communicating something, does he think about something in English, like in a language, or does he just translate something into English when he's going to say it? That's the way I do it. Like most of the things I think about, it's just this brain code, and then to actually say it, I have to like translate it and then say it in English. And the reason I don't think in any kind of written language is because brain code works like 1,000 times faster.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you bury any treasure at your former Vermont property? Because I live nearby and I would like to go dig for it if you did.
No, not really. Nothing you'd want to dig up. I mean, that guy who came by that I buried. No, just kidding.
I may have to.
Yeah, go get that baby and knock her out.
Okay. So
my baby daughter just rolled off her. Just put her on the mattress. I bet she'll fall back asleep. Oh, yeah, can I expand on what? You got another question for me?
Talking about with brain code and stuff.
I've spoken about brain code before. Wait, what's your next question?
Give me a second.
All right, I'll give you a second.
Have you heard of Freeman Dyson?
Have I heard of Freeman Dyson?
I feel like Jaimie would love that guy. There are a couple of good YouTube interviews.
Is that the guy who makes the vacuum cleaner?
He wrote a book called Disturbing the Universe. Also, somebody would.
I don't know anything about Freeman Dyson, but yeah. I think that's the guy who made the vacuum cleaner. That's as far as I know. You know, last week someone recommended, actually a bunch of people recommended some movie I was supposed to watch. Do you remember what that was?
Oh shoot.
Oh shoot.
I don't.
Someone's gonna remember.
Somebody will remember though. So Eric Bauerfield says, I find I'm better at keeping to routines and managing my mood, getting through boring stuff if I'm in tune with my inner self. if that makes any sense.
So Eric
music and
says,
nature stuff helps me
wait,
get
you're
back to
you're
that.
reading way too far. I can't.
Sorry.
You gotta like give me a piece. So Eric says he's way better at sticking to a plan when he's in tune with his inner self. Yeah, I would totally. Yeah, I have the same thing. If I'm not feeling good about myself, it's a lot harder to stay on task of whatever I'm doing. But yeah, if I'm feeling like in tune with myself, then yeah, it's much easier to stay on track as I want to do. What was the rest of what he said?
So he was saying that like nature and music help him.
Nature and music help him. Nature definitely helps me. I don't know about music. Music kind of throws me off a little. If I'm like in the zone, music is cool. But if I'm like having difficulty or anything, I find that music can kind of help me for a little bit, but then it doesn't last. Like if I feel like I'm kind of off and I need to get my head back in the zone, I like silence or just like no music, no one talking to me or saying anything. I don't want any input. Like I just block everything out and I'm like, I just got to figure out everything in my dome here.
Is a giant robot boat scrubber attachment a possibility?
Is a giant robot boat scrubber attachment a possibility? Well, yeah, it's a possibility. I don't think I'll do that because I'm the giant robot scrubber. Yeah.
Eric Bauerfeld expanded on Freeman Dyson and said he worked with people like Richard Feynman and stuff, was a very advanced physicist and mathematician that made a bunch of contributions all over the place.
So Freeman Dyson was a guy who was a physicist.
He's not the vacuum guy.
Not the vacuum cleaner.
Maybe I should. Invented Dyson spheres.
Oh, he's the guy who came up with Dyson spheres. Yeah, it's funny. I thought of the vacuum instead of Dyson spheres.
Yeah.
Does everybody know what a Dyson sphere is?
No, tell us about it.
Do you know what it is?
No, I have no idea.
You seriously don't know?
I'm serious.
You know what a Dyson sphere is. You really don't?
I maybe know what it is. I just don't know what
it was in a Star Trek episode. Have you seen that one? I guess not.
Maybe not.
Star Trek: The Next Generation. Anyway, a Dyson sphere is a theoretical thing where you could build like a structure around the sun, thereby collecting the energy coming off the sun, and you'd have like a ridiculous amount of energy for your structure. So this is like a huge ball around the sun, like a like solar system sized ball. Maybe not the whole solar system, but like if we built one of these balls, say if we built one of these balls between Mars and Jupiter, there's all those asteroids. We used all that to build some kind of structure around the sun and, covered it with like solar panels or something, then it would have like ridiculous amounts of energy. And theoretically, if you made a robot that can make a piece of this Dyson sphere, which can make another piece of itself, which can make another piece of itself. Like you could make one relatively quickly, as long as it could make itself out of the material that's out there. Relatively quickly,
He also apparently, so he didn't invent it. He said that there were other sci-fi authors that came up with the concept before him.
Oh, so someone else came up with the concept of a Dyson sphere. But he
this crazy nuclear power rocket ship called Project Orion that was propelled by bombs.
So this Dyson guy made up the nuclear bomb propulsion system for rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in a movie, one of those asteroid destroying the Earth movies. I don't remember which one, but what's it called? The Orion.
Called Project Orion.
Yeah, so there's this thing, for anyone who doesn't know, there was this thing called Project Orion, which is basically a spaceship with a nuclear exploder out the back that propels the spaceship, which I think is a great idea. Why are we wasting all this nuclear material on like, running everyone's TVs and lights on all the time when they could just stay awake during the daytime instead of all night? It's funny because I used to stay up all night.
Nuclear propulsion is banned by international space
Wait. Nuclear propulsion is banned?
By international space law.
By international space law. Well, that's just because they don't want nukes blowing people up. But man, what a waste. Like that would be like the best use of all that nuclear material. It's like, let's send something really fast. Is it only within the solar system though?
I mean, how like.
All right, I'm gonna start looking at the.
No, I'm telling you what's going on. I'm like I'm right. Don't touch it.
I'm gonna look at the comments. I'm gonna look at the comments. Misplaced armpit sweat. Yeah, it's totally
no,
not.
Wait, you're too far back. You have to push the blue button.
Oh,
push
is
the
that
blue
pushes it
button.
right down to the bottom?
Yeah. So you should see it says yes, sir. So Mad Matter's answered your question. He says, I don't think in words. I think. Not until I have to put things into words.
No, I should be reading this because no one can hear when you're saying it.
Can you guys hear me?
So,
Pretty sure they can hear me just fine.
To Mars by a Bomb is a fantastic documentary about Project Orion. Ooh, To Mars by a Bomb. We should look that up. It's probably on YouTube. A lot of that stuff is just on YouTube.
One way to search for alien life is to search for Dyson spheres. So another question is, what is low tech way that the masses can use to desalinate ocean water?
Oh, well,
and Duval says he can hear me perfectly.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
so you guys can hear Dashaina. Okay, good. I'll try to talk quieter and you can talk louder. So yeah, searching for Dyson spheres is a way to look for aliens. Yeah, totally makes sense. And someone else said the Dyson sphere thing is more like just a series of satellites rather than like a solid thing, which would make sense because a solid thing would get all cracked up and stuff.
What is the low tech?
Eric said he found it and saw it on YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
We'll have to remember it. Yeah. I can watch it with the kids.
So what is a low-tech way that the masses can use to desalinate ocean water?
Okay, to desalinate ocean water. What's a low-tech way to desalinate ocean water? Okay, wait, I got it. There's a really easy low-tech way to desalinate ocean water, which is you put it out, you put the ocean water out and let the sun hit it, and then it evaporates and makes these clouds. And then after a while, it starts falling back down without the salt in it.
Jaimie.
What?
Man's up.
This is the lowest tech way. It's going on right now.
I think they mean more specifically on an individual basis.
Well, okay. So you mean no?
Are you going to answer for real?
In terms of just distilling ocean water should work fine. Then you also get salt. I've done that a few times. Gotten just add a plastic sheet to catch the cloud, right? Well, yeah. I mean, you can do ocean water in a little tub and put a plastic sheet or glassing over it. I'd want to use glass because the plastic will disintegrate in the sun after a while. But if you put a glass sheet over it, the water will evaporate, stick to the glass sheet, and have the glass sheet at an angle. It'll run down. You can catch it down there. I mean, that's a pretty low-tech way to do it. Maybe we should try it. Help a village of people to irrigate their fields and not die of famine during drought time. Aha! So the clouds are not operating at this point in time. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I guess it depends on the situation, like where you are. But yeah, just.
Okay, scoot over.
Like, well, the thing that's throwing me off here is like to water fields during a drought. Like, you need a lot of water for that, right?
Put your leg down. Please.
So how do you desalinate a lot of water at once in a low-tech way? I mean, like having the water out in a big thing with a big thing to catch it, a big plastic sheet or sheet of glass or something. But it just has to be huge.
Yeah. Okay, somebody else was asking, when are we going to get a complete tour of the cathedral?
Oh, I thought I showed it pretty well, didn't I don't know. Maybe I didn't give a good enough tour. Now I'm too low in the camera.
I feel like you did a quick tour, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I thought I did a tour of the cathedral. Although when I get the second and third floors done, then there will be more to tour.
To show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But like every time the thing is, it keeps changing.
Right.
So I just got the spackling done on the walls, which was amazing. And then I need to get the roof on. Yeah, I guess part of it right now is I really want to get the roof finished so there's no drips inside. And then I feel like I'll be able to better organize everything inside the dome. Because right now in the cathedral, I know where there are a few drips, and I can't put anything there because I don't want stuff to get dripped on. But when I get everything totally waterproofed, no drips inside, then I can just decide where I want to put everything based on where I want to put it. What's going to organize things the best. And then maybe it'll be better for tourage. But when I get the second and third floors done, that'll be really good.
So do you think we should go have lunch?
Yeah, let's go have lunch. I don't know. Are there any other
No,
questions?
that's it.
Okay, one more question.
Tomatoes apparently likes being the mod.
Oh, good. Is he booting people off? Good.
What about the dragon scales? Ricky Pickett would like to know what about the dragon scales.
Well, the materials should be here in pretty soon.
Sometime between the 16th and the 19th.
What's today?
I don't know. The 12th.
Oh,
it's Hershey's birthday
so
today.
less than a week. Within a week, I should have the materials to do the roof, and then I got to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's Hershey's birthday today.
It's your dog's birthday. Do you even know that, or is it a guess?
No, that's what.
How old is your dog?
She'll be a year old.
So she'll be 1 year old.
She is a year old.
I see.
Yeah. Let's go have lunch.
All right, let's go have lunch. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
It was excellent seeing you.
See you later.
Everyone needs to make funny faces while we're leaving. Oh wait, what was my funny face the kids loved yesterday? It was, "Hey guys!
Oh my god, that makes your head look so weirdly proportioned.
How would you like it if I talk like this all the time?"
You know, you kind of remind me of that guy from Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice!
The guy that got his head shrunk on his shoulders.
Yeah, that guy. It would be great if someone just came right now and just were like, "What's going on right now?" I had a car accident that got whiplash. All right, turn it off.
Bye.
Push the button. Push the button. Push the button right there.